we on? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Green Street Stadium, John Sistone Field, for today's matchup between your Akron City Football Club and a team from Northern Indiana. A little bit about the team from Northern Indiana before we get our starters introduced. They are out of the Midwest Premier League, which is basically comprised of teams, as best as I could see, from Indiana, Michigan, Iowa, Missouri, and Wisconsin. They are currently in the Great Lakes Division of the Midwest Premier League. They are currently 4-0. They're coming in undefeated. Their last game was on the 29th when they beat Lansing Common 2-1. They have scored 11 goals for the team and 5 goals against. What I'm going to be looking for out of Akron City today is what we saw a week ago against the Michigan Rangers. What do you think, Kyle?
Yes, John, I 100% agree with you. If they could bottle that up and reinvent it, bring it back to life, that is the Akron City that all the fans want to see. That was a fun team. That was an exciting team. And they really did no wrong in that game, if you think about it. And they kind of took a step backwards against Steel City, stumbled a little, showed some bright spots, but not as much consistency as that Michigan game. If they could bottle up, sell it, drink it every day, whatever that elixir was that they had before that game, Akron City will compete with anybody.
Akron City is going to be wearing their Carolina blue and navy blue suits, and Northern Indiana is going to be in red and looks like gray shorts. And we are just about ready for today's introduction of the starting lineups. So in just a moment, we're going to turn everything over to Logan Congrove for the introductions of today's games, or today's starters, for Akron City as well as Northern Indiana. And we'll tell you a little bit more about Northern Indiana and their coach, Gerardo Mascareno. Right now, here's Logan Congrove. All righty, we're back after the national anthem. Everybody's knuckling up down below. We're getting ready for the kickoff of today's game. This is a United States Adult Soccer Association National Amateur Cup Region 2 quarterfinal matchup. It's for the Fritz Marth Trophy, which will be given away at the end of the season. Akron City Football Club taking on Northern Indiana Football Club. From what we understand, a majority of the players for Northern Indiana, they had a USL team over there last year. That team folded, and many of those players moved over to Northern Indiana to this football club to play in the Midwest Premier League there in Northern Indiana. Their head coach is Geraldo Mascareno. He played for the Mexican Tier 1 division. He played for a lot of these names I do recognize: Puebla, Atlanta, Atlas, Chivas, Pachuca, Moriela, and Leon. He was around that league, the first division of the Mexican League, for many, many years. He played in over 300 career games and scored 42 goals. And he's been coaching since 2007, mostly in the nation of Mexico.
A little international flavor we're going to see here today by Northern Indiana.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I'll probably stumble over a couple of these names before the day's out.
Do you know how to roll your R's?
No.
You would sound like a professional if you could roll your R's on some of these names. Like Tavares.
Right. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're ready to kick off. Number 9, Sabrosa.
Oh.
Actually, it's Sabroso. He will be taking the kickoff for Northern Indiana today. In goal for Northern Indiana, I believe, is David Tavares. And we shall see what happens. There we go.
Sounds like you're up for the challenge already.
We're off and running. Deep ball sent down into the middle. Picked off by Yevtich. Sends it over to Grosser, getting his first start for Akron City this year. And it is banged out of bounds off of Grosser, so it'll be a throw-in for Northern Indiana.
That was a positive play right off the bat. Grosser, he just put on the Jets. He stepped on the gas.
That's what we want to see. We want to see aggression. Northern Indiana with the ball. It comes over wide to Rodriguez. Rodriguez puts it into number 6. That's Mazza. Mazza sends it wide to the far side. Comes back to number 8. That's Amal. Amal now drops it deep to one of the defenders on the left side. That looks to be number 13, Arrieta.
Impressive.
And here we go. They're still working the ball on this left side. Now they drop it back to Tavares at goal. And Tavares now sends it over to the near side to number 4, Rodriguez. Rodriguez, it's a deep pass to number 9, who sends it wide to number 11, who takes a shot. Number 11, that's Saeed. And it is picked up by, we have an offside call. In goal today for Akron City, making his start and just signed with the team this past week from Cleveland State, as a matter of fact. Omid Naemi is in goal today for Akron City. Villa with the ball right now, sends it back to Yevtich. Yevtich tried to get it up to Schmidt, but didn't work. Groves takes away the pass intended for Saeed, drops it back to Naemi. Naemi looking for somebody to do something. Now he clears it out wide, intended for Dobrievich. And it's headed out of bounds by Akron City. It'll be a throw-in for Northern Indiana. So right now we got 2 strikers. We've got Kingsford on one side, and we got Sammy Sarver on the other side. Dobrievich kind of drifts back more into a midfield than he does into attack.
Looks like Groves is pushed up into the midfield.
Yeah, Groves is pushed up into the midfield with his starting lineup. Probably because of Grosser being in the lineup. Grosser is the defender. getting his first start, so they move Groves up. Drop back to Tavares. Tavares sends it up the middle to number 10. That's De Oliveira. Sends it out to number 8, Amal. We've got a foul, and it'll be a restart for Northern Indiana.
That's a tough one. Villa tried to take the angle to his left of the defender, and the defender took a step that way at the last minute, and he just ran into his back, knocked him down. Otherwise, he could have created an offensive chance there.
Here we go with the restart from Northern Indiana. And now Tavares is going to come up to take the kick as he sends everybody along. We shall see what happens. He goes wide to the far side. Now it comes back into Amal. Amal taking space. Drops it outside to Rodriguez. Rodriguez drops it back to the other Rodriguez. That's Diego. Sends it over to Arrieta. Arrieta back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez sends it up, intended for Saeed. Picked off by Groves, sent up to Jonas Schmidt, intended for Kingsford. It's poked away by Northern Indiana. Northern Indiana with the ball. That's De Oliveira. And is now dropped off to number 8, Amal. Amal sends it out wide. They drop it back to Arrieta. Arrieta in the middle to De Oliveira. Oliveira sends it out to Rodriguez. Rodriguez sends it back to Arrieta. Rodriguez. Rodriguez taking space, puts it in the middle to De Oliveira. Puts it over to the far side. Now it comes into number 6. That's Mazza. Sending it out wide, making a quick run down the left side. There's a shot, and it's squeezed by Naemi. Naemi rolls it out. Now it's sent back to Lacerda. Lacerda making his first start for Akron City. Playing a little tight. And our little misconnection between the number 9, Sobroso, and Talamantes on that left side.
Both teams were kind of a little sloppy with the ball there. Akron City gave it away, but then Indiana couldn't connect.
Loose ball in the middle. Sarver beats everybody to it, make it a run, and it is taken away from Sarver by Rodriguez. Rodriguez over to Amal.
Nice tackle by Schmidt.
Deep ball collected by Arrieta. Arrieta to Tavares. Kingsford making a run on, trying to put some pressure on him. Does enough pressure for Tavares to kick it out of bounds for a throw-in for Akron City.
Moments ago, Akron City got a nice steal by Schmidt at midfield, and they wanted to go on a counter. 4 players ran forward. I like the numbers, but they all just ran straight ahead. Nobody was running any kind of diagonal balls or just layoffs, anything like that. See if we can't get more movement side to side in those runs.
Kingsford dropped it back to Dobrievich, and it went out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Northern Indiana. Nice header by Lacerda. Goes out of bounds. It'll be another throw-in for Northern Indiana. As the official pushing Northern Indiana back on the throw-in. Northern Indiana throw-in picked off by Sarver. Groves with it. Tried to get it in the middle to Dobrievich. We have a loose ball, and it's picked up by our goalie, Naemi. Naemi's free ball was challenged by Northern Indiana, and they almost got a goal. It's going to be a restart for Akron City. Naomi sending it up the right side. Dobrjevich with it. Puts it in the middle to Villa. Villa gets tripped and put down, and we have a whistle, and it'll be a free kick. And now we're going to have a yellow card immediately on the delay of game for Northern Indiana. That yellow card goes to number 8, Sammy Sharaf Amal, for delay of game as he kicked the ball out of bounds. So it'll be a restart for Akron City.
Interesting. 8th minute. No tolerance by this official today.
Yep.
It could be good, it could be bad.
Yes. Depends on how chippy the game gets as it moves forward. Dobrjevich trying to send it wide to Kingsford. There's nobody there. Here we go with one attacker. Saeed to Rodriguez. Broken up by Kingsford. Up to Amal. Amal comes wide to Rodriguez. Rodriguez in the middle, back to Amal. Amal now sending a deep ball down the left side, and we got an offsides flag flicked up. So it'll be a restart for Akron City on the offsides call.
That's a good sign for Akron City. That's 2 offsides already. You got to wonder, is that a case of Northern Indiana is a little anxious on the outsides, or is the defense pressing up? Could be a combination of both, but
they're aggressive in the attack. That's for sure.
But they like the ball down the wings, too, especially
Yes.
on the near side with Saeed. They're trying to get it to him. They're trying to spring him. And then on the far side, you got Talamantes out there. You also have Maza over there. So they're trying to spring one of them. Oh, boy. Oh, wow.
Why are we playing with the ball in the back? Please clear it out. Here we go again.
Well,
That's got them in trouble twice now in the first 10 minutes of the game. They almost scored twice.
And the Akron City players were calling for an offsides, but both of the outside backs were back, giving an outlet for the keeper for that ball, and he played it into the middle into danger. That was very fortunate for Akron City.
That's happened twice in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Well, don't make 3 a charm.
All right, Sarver with the ball. Sarver's shot scooped up by Tavares.
A little ambitious, but good job by Schmeider getting the steal. Laid it off to Sarver. See if they can work some 1-2s up there once they get the ball.
Deep ball intended for Talamantes is picked off by Akron City, collected by Schmeider. Schmeider over to Sarver. Sarver over to number 22, Schmidt. Schmidt sends it out wide to Kingsford. Kingsford's cross into the box, headed out by Rodriguez, collected by Schmidt, and Schmidt's shot is high. It'll be a goal kick for Northern Indiana.
No matter what game, the one player that has the energy and he just never stops moving is Schmidt.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is everywhere. He's going forward. He's coming back. He's winning balls into midfield. He just, that one was just unfortunate. He was a little off balance, just rushed the shot, but you can't fault him for that. His hustle got him the opportunity in the first place.
Rodriguez taking it up the near sideline. Dumps it in the middle to Amal. Amal with a little flick back to Maza. Over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez sends it up to Saeed. Saeed puts it in the middle to number 6, Maza. And we have a foul called on Akron City. It'll be a restart for Northern Indiana.
These are the ones you don't want. That didn't look like a necessary foul.
It wasn't.
And it looked like you were about to win the ball, too. And now you're going to give them a restart inside the attacking third. You're basically going to give them a free service.
Amal will take the restart for Northern Indiana. Sarver providing a one-man wall. As we get ready for the restart. We're into the 13th minute. We're scoreless. There's the restart, and it sails wide. It'll be a goal kick for Akron City.
That wasn't a bad ball. Just the timing of the runs and the ball just weren't together for Northern Indiana.
Dobrjevich has the ball kicked out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Akron City.
That's somebody's name you really haven't called yet. He hasn't really gotten involved.
Well, he's playing midfield.
But the ball has not been anywhere near him yet. No. That's almost one of his first touches of the game.
Grosser with the throw in. Puts it into Villa. Villa sends it across to Groves. Saeed providing pressure. And we got a foul called on Saeed. It'll be a restart for Akron City. Lacerda will take the restart for Akron City.
Again, you hate this, but there's just one target player up top.
Yep. And they're sending it deep for Kingsford. Kingsford trying to run onto it. Gets beat to the ball by Diego Rodriguez, who heads it out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Akron City.
Let's get the numbers up here now on the throw in, though.
Taken away, there's Amal. Amal to Saeed. Saeed to Mazza. Mazza sending it deep down the left side to a streaking Talamantes. Picked off by Grosser. Sends it back to Naemi. Dobrjevich tried to flick it. Knocked out of bounds by Northern Indiana. Throw in for Akron City. This is Villa. Dropping it back. Yevtich. Yevtich tried to send it up, and it's blocked and out of bounds by number 9. That's Sobroso. Throw in back to Schmeider. Deep ball intended for Dobrjevich. Dobrjevich running onto it. Puts it back into the middle. Kingsford overran it. Sarver couldn't get there. Picked off by Northern Indiana.
Well, Kingsford was trying to make a run. He was being first held by the defender before Dobrjevich got the ball. Then he got pushed forward. So his run was completely disrupted by the defender on the way down there before the cross.
Northern Indiana with the ball. Comes out wide to number 10. That's De Oliveira. Now it comes over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez back to number 6, Mazza. Saeed with the ball on the near side. Making a couple of moves, tries to put it in the middle. It's cleared out by Akron City momentarily. Amal with it. Nice ball. Flag is up.
Good play by Naemi coming off the line, even
Absolutely.
with the flag up.
Absolutely. Play until the whistle blows. Sarver with the ball. Drops it back to Schmeider. Schmeider back to Yevtich. Yevtich comes wide to Sarver. Sarver trying to make a move. Picked off easily by Rodriguez. Rodriguez puts it in the middle to Sobroso. Amal with it. Amal puts it out wide to Talamantes. Giving chase is Grosser, who kicks it over the touchline for a Northern Indiana throw-in.
Amal is one of those players that you do not want to go for the first or second move. He's going to dance a little bit.
Header by Northern Indiana goes wide of the goal, so it'll be a goal kick. Nope.
No, he's actually calling a corner.
He's calling a corner.
Yeah. He must have said it hit off the defender, which...
Corner kick for Northern Indiana. It's the first corner kick of the game. We're in the 17th minute of the first half. Amal getting ready to send in the corner service. Goes in. It's headed out. Picked up by Northern Indiana, and that shot goes wide. Be a goal kick for Akron.
Good challenge by Yevtich on that corner.
Naemi sends a deep ball down to Sarver, giving chase, but a little bit too far. Sammy's quick, but he's not that quick.
Yeah, that's a hard ball hit if Sarver can't run it down.
So it's going to be a throw-in for Northern Indiana.
I like the idea, though. Off the goal kick, see if you can't
Absolutely.
spring somebody.
Absolutely. Quick transition goal like that would be great.
Yeah, the other team's a little complacent, after the corner, walking back.
De Oliveira sends it out wide to Saeed. Saeed Header by Grosser.
Where's the flag there?
Comes out to Schmidt. Schmidt's pass intended for Kingsford is just wide. Northern Indiana with the ball sends it out wide to Saeed. Saeed working on Groves. And Groves picks his pocket. Sends it up to Dobrievich. Dobrievich header to Kingsford. Kingsford gets pushed down. It'll be a restart for Akron City.
Something I keep seeing is Saeed has half the field over here by himself. They're just leaving him.
Sarver with it. Kingsford making a run. Sammy's pass picked off. Saeed with it. Drops it back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez to Amal. Tomaza. To De Oliveira. De Oliveira with the ball. Taking a lot of space. Taking it into traffic. Taken away by Akron City. Comes out to Groves. Groves drops it back to Yevtich. We have nobody making any runs. Comes to Villa. Villa sends it over to Grosser. Grosser now up to Sarver. Sarver drops it back. Now comes all the way back to Grosser. To the goalie, Naemi. Naemi over to Yevtich. Yevtich sending a deep ball to a sprinting Kingsford. And it's picked off by Northern Indiana. Sent back to Tavares, the keeper. He clears it out. Sending it deep. Yevtich with the header to Villa. Villa sends it wide to Groves. Groves back to Villa. Villa. Heel pass to Schmeider. Comes wide to Grosser. Grosser up to Sarver. Sarver makes the move and loses it. Picked off by Northern Indiana.
Akron City just looks a little stagnant right now. They're kind of like running in mud almost.
We're dropping 6 deep.
And nobody's going forward.
No. The only two people going forward is Kingsford and Sarver. Again, we're playing with a defensive attitude.
But even with that defensive attitude, Saeed has all day on this right side.
Yes.
They're just kind of leaving him there.
Yep. Corner kick for Northern Indiana. Yep, Saeed has been wide open the entire game because basically Akron's defense has been clogging the middle because a lot of play has been going up through the middle, which automatically, when you draw everybody in, leaves your sides open. And it doesn't matter if it's strong side or weak side, they're both open.
Fortunately, Groves has been able to get out there and challenge him on the majority of the plays.
Saeed picked off, bounced by Naemi, comes back and gets it. We have a whistle. And it's going to be a free kick for Akron City. Up to Villa. Villa to Groves. Over to Dobrievich. Dobrievich to Villa. Villa to Schmidt. Schmidt loses it. Grosser picks it up for Akron City.
That was some tight windows they were trying to work through there. They almost made it.
Grosser over to Yevtich. Back to Naemi. Naemi puts it up to Villa. Back to Groves. Groves sends it up to Dobrievich, but it is picked off by Rodriguez, who gets it back on the give-a-go with Amal. Rodriguez with it, dances, puts it across. Nice heel stop by Lacerda. Northern Indiana, shot is up. Naemi smothers it. And you see now Northern Indiana's attacking with 10.
Yeah, Arrieta came all the way back from his center back to take that shot.
All of your defenders are up across the midfield stripe because they know that they're quicker than Akron City and they're going to be able to take the ball away.
Well, they're also just playing more aggressive.
Yeah.
The forwards up there, they're pressuring the defenders. They know they really don't need to mark anybody because no one for Akron City is coming forward.
Mistake by Akron City results in a throw-in for Northern Indiana.
You gotta wonder if it's a case of they're just playing defense to try and catch a quick counter.
Throw-in headed by Lacerda. Ball sent up to Kingsford. Kingsford couldn't get to it. Northern Indiana with the ball. Goes in the middle to De Oliveira. De Oliveira with it. Drops it back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez moves in the middle. Now drops it off to number 13. That is Arrieta. Arrieta drops it back to Tavares. Tavares sends it over to Diego Rodriguez. Rodriguez now with a long ball. And it goes to Naemi. Naemi with the ball. Waiting for somebody to do something. He's sending everybody up. Now Villa comes wide. Sending it long, intended for Groves. Headed away by Rodriguez to Saeed. Now to Amal. Amal keeping it alive. Gets it back. Puts it back into the middle to Arrieta. Arrieta puts it on the far side. Taking a shot into the middle. Couple of headers. Groves brings it down for Akron City. Sends it out wide to Dobrjevich and sends it right back to Groves. He's not even turning to try and go forward.
Yeah, it's just, well, they're going to try and spring Sarver maybe here, but nobody's really making any runs up top either.
Lacerda's pass is picked off by Northern Indiana. Northern Indiana with the ball on the far side. Crossing pass intended for Saeed, headed by Groves. Dobrjevich has it. Tried to get it back to Groves. Picked off by Saeed. Now Rodriguez has it. Rodriguez to Talamantes. Talamantes sends it wide to De Oliveira. De Oliveira has it poked away by Sammy Sarver. And now Lacerda just clears it long. Nobody's there. Kingsford almost came onto it. And there's Rodriguez cleaning up the ball. De Oliveira.
Almost looks like the Travelers have like twice as many players on the field.
They're hustling.
When they're all moving and creating open opportunities.
Arrieta. We have a throw-in for Northern Indiana as Mazza was being harassed by Lacerda. We're in the 26th minute. We're still scoreless. Indiana has had a couple of good chances. Akron has taken one shot on goal. That was by Sarver.
Well, if you think about it, their chances were just because of misplays in the back. So Akron City has been playing solid defensively, but that's what they've been playing a lot of is defense.
Northern Indiana with the ball. Cleared out by Lacerda. We have nobody coming on the weak side. Again, nobody coming up on the weak side.
Just more of a defensive mindset is what they're playing.
You can't do that. Rodriguez. Amal with it in the midfield. Amal sends it over to Diego Rodriguez. Puts it up to number 7, Leo Rodriguez. Back to Diego. Now Akron City trying to put some pressure on. Saeed with it. Picked up by Groves. Groves sends it back to Jevtich. Jevtich sends it back to Naemi. Naemi with the ball. Sending it long. Intended for Sarver. Headed away by Northern Indiana. Arrieta with the ball. Goes in the middle to Amal. Amal to Rodriguez on the right side. Rodriguez up to Saeed as Rodriguez doubles down. Saeed sends it back to Amal. Amal in the middle to De Oliveira. De Oliveira. Wide left to Arrieta. Back to De Oliveira on a give and go. De Oliveira is being harassed. And he drops it all the way back to Arrieta. Arrieta. Rodriguez. Saeed. Back to Rodriguez. Arrieta being hassled by Kingsford. Sends it deep to Talamantes. Talamantes' header. Collected by Lacerda. Lacerda turns. Puts it over to Jevtich, near sideline. Jevtich drops it back to Naemi. Naemi Sending it long for Dobrjevich, headed away by Rodriguez. Picked up by make that Groves. Groves to Dobrjevich. Rodriguez drops it back to Tavares. Tavares clears it out. Up to Amal's header. Poked away by Lacerda. Lacerda to Villa. Villa to Schmeider. Schmeider to Sarver. Sarver
Here we go.
streaking down the right sideline. Schmidt is in. Sarver. Kingsford. Just wide. Best play of the last two games.
Hands down, that was a great play because you had options in there. You saw Schmidt, and so did I. He was open in the middle. You had Dobrjevich far post. And once Sarver got around the corner and he got free, he could even have taken it himself. But then he laid it off to Kingsford. Well, and that was just unfortunate on the finish.
It was nice to see four guys attacking the goal because we haven't seen that in a while.
Well, and that's a case of two. You play the ball down the wing, let Sarver use his speed to beat people, and then give him options in the middle. He had options. He had a square ball, he had a far post ball, and he had a drop ball. You give him three options, and it's just a case of now we just got to put it on frame. And unfortunately, it just went wide.
Northern Indiana with the restart. Center official made him move it back 2 yards. So here we go. Well, kick is headed by Akron City and then cleared out.
That was good hustle by Yevtich there because he had a traveler breathing right down on him for that ball.
Schmeider to Schmidt. Giannis sends it out to Sarver. Sarver gets taken down. And now it's going to be a restart for Akron City. And now the center official is coming over and awarding a yellow card, it looks like, to the bench.
It looked like the coach. When you almost sounded like a law firm there for a second. Schmeider and Schmidt.
Schmidt to Sarver. Back to Schmidt. Trying to send it long to Sarver. Sarver collects it. Looking into the middle to Schmeider. Schmeider couldn't get there. Comes back to Villa. Villa sends it wide to Groves on the near side. Groves making a move back to Villa. And now Villa drops it back to Yevtich. Yevtich tried to get it up to Schmeider. Taken away by Northern Indiana. Now it's back to Yevtich. But now they're going to call a touch trip on Akron City. Dobrjevich putting pressure on Northern Indiana, sends it over to De Oliveira. De Oliveira is being pushed down by Lacerda, and now Lacerda is getting yellowed for kicking the ball away for delay of game.
Last few minutes, though, Akron City's shown a little bit more pace, a little bit more energy. They're challenging the ball. The intensity is picked up.
So it'll be a restart for Northern Indiana. De Oliveira over the ball. Drops it back to Arrieta. Over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez to the other Rodriguez. Back to Diego Rodriguez. Over to Arrieta. Arrieta looking for somebody. Goes back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez now taking space. Sends it wide to Saeed. Saeed looking for the other Rodriguez down the sideline. Makes a good pass. Taken down by Groves. And now Groves is going to be yellowed for that tackle on Rodriguez. This guy is yellow card happy. That's what, 4 or 5 in the game?
That's 3, but 2 in the last minute on Akron City. That's a tough one. I mean, it's definitely a foul, but you can also say if he beats him, he has a chance for a cross. So it's a soft yellow. It's a yellow, but it's a soft yellow.
Amal
it's like a pillow yellow.
Amal will take the restart for Akron City. Villa and Schmidt will set up a wall, 2-man wall. Naomi wants him to go to his right a little bit. Amal over the ball. Goes right in
Oh, my.
to a beautiful service and a beautiful header. Goes to number 5, Eduardo da Silva, on the set piece for the Northern Indiana goal. That was a beautiful set piece. That ball was right on the money.
Those are one of those ones. You hit that wicked ball in there, you get the timing of the run. The goalkeeper is kind of on an island there. He doesn't know. He can't come out to challenge because the ball's too far out. And the redirect, unless it's right within his reach, he really doesn't have a chance.
Kingsford back to Schmidt. Schmidt sends it wide to Sarver. Sarver racing downfield. We got Kingsford in the middle. We got Dobrajevich coming in from the left side. Sarver's shot goes just wide. It'll be a goal kick for Northern Indiana.
If you're a Northern Indiana fan or coach, you got to say to your left back, what were you doing there? He came up and tried to win the ball before it got to Sarver, and he was nowhere near it. And that ball just went by him, and Sarver had clear sailing down the right wing.
Yeah, with Sam's speed, you got to basically play back a little bit.
Yeah, you can't anticipate. You can't jump the route like he just did. You're just giving Sarver a free run. And who knows, he could get a shot, cross, whatever. If you're an opponent, you don't want to give Sam Sarver that much space.
Rodriguez on a throw-in on the near side for Northern Indiana. Throw-in goes deep to D. Oliveira. Oh, check that. That was Sobroso. Schmidt with the ball sends it back to Lacerda. Lacerda over to Yevtich, up to Villa, back over to Lacerda. Lacerda over to Yevtich. Yevtich up to Dobrajevich. Dobrajevich in the middle. Back to Dobrajevich on the give and go. Kingsford has it taken away. And it's Rodriguez. And it's going to be a throw-in for Northern Indiana.
I like the effort on the build there. They're working some give and goes up the wing. Just the collapsed defense just won the ball.
Kingsford with the win and knocks it off of Northern Indiana. It'll be a throw-in for Akron City. Groves puts it into Schmidt. Schmidt to Villa, and Groves has it back. Goes over to Schmidt. Giannis trying to find some room. Tries to get it up to Dobrajevich. But we're waiting on the ball while Northern Indiana is attacking the ball, both on offense and defense. We're waiting for it instead of going to it.
Yeah, they are a step forward.
Yes, we have to start going to the ball and not waiting on it. Schmeider with it in the middle, dumps it off to Giannis Schmidt. Giannis sending a deep ball to Sarver. Sarver now has two guys on him. There's the flick across. Kingsford could not get to it. Picked up by Rodriguez, puts it in the middle, knocked away by Schmeider. Schmeider to Lacerda. Lacerda sends it wide to Grosser. Back to Lacerda. Lacerda in the middle to Schmeider. Yevtich. Kingsford calling for it. He has it. Double teamed, picked off by Northern Indiana. And now we've got a foul called.
Yeah, I think that was unfortunate. I think he stepped on his calf, actually. He wasn't trying to, but he did.
Restart, Northern Indiana. Rodriguez sends it over to Arrieta.
Those don't feel good.
No, they hurt. Arrieta taking all kinds of space. Finally poked away from behind by Giannis Schmidt.
Great hustle.
Schmeider to Groves. Back to Yevtich. Yevtich sends it deep. 5 guys from Northern Indiana there. Nobody for Akron City. Giannis Schmidt comes down with it. Kicked out of bounds for Northern Indiana. Throw in for Akron. Sarver to Villa. Villa sends it up to Grosser. Grosser, oh, we got a handball. Big time. And it's going to be a restart for Akron City. So Akron City's got a set-piece chance on this handball call on Northern Indiana.
We've mentioned this a lot of times, like on corners and set pieces. Like Dobrjevic is wide right now. Let's see if he can keep the shape wide so that nothing gets beyond him. Worst case, if it gets flicked on or if it gets played long. Let's see if someone can get on the end of this.
I have a feeling he'll be running to the post.
Well, run to the far post, not the near.
Kingsford on the restart. We're in the 39th minute, 1-0 Northern Indiana. Kingsford on the restart, sends it deep and right into the hands of Tavares.
That was a little flat. It got into the 6. If they could have had that a little wider, Dobrjevic was there, Schmidt was coming in, Lacerda was actually up there too.
So it'll be Northern Indiana with the ball. That's Rodriguez, sends it out to Leo Rodriguez. Leo sends it up to Saeed, but it goes out of bounds. Throw in for Akron City. Yevtich with it. Puts it into Schmeider. Make that Villa with the flick to Kingsford. Back to Villa. Villa's going to send it wide to Lacerda. And Lacerda's going to drop it back to Naomi. Naomi with the ball. Schmidt with the header. Nobody there as it picked off by Leo Rodriguez to Diego. Dobrjevic tried to take it away. That's Arrieta with the ball. Arrieta sends it wide to Saeed, and it's going to be a throw-in for Akron City.
They're sending balls up to target players and trying to flick on, but nobody's making the run in behind.
Like I said, get a ticket. Groves with the ball. Lacerda, out of desperation, just clears it long. Rodriguez picks it off. It goes into a maul from Saeed. Amal with the ball. Up to De Oliveira. De Oliveira sends it wide to Talamantes. Back to Amal. Amal to Rodriguez. Over to Leo. That's up to Mazza. Mazza to number 9, and he is offsides. So Broso was offsides, so it'll be a restart for Akron City.
Nice build by Northern Indiana, and they didn't like the call, but he did look like he was a little anxious.
Lacerda with it. Sends it long, intended for a streaking Sarver. It's picked off by Northern Indiana. And here comes our neighborhood train again. Amal with it. Sends it wide. De Oliveira with it, has it poked away. Schmidt with it, looking for somebody, sends it out wide to Dobrjevic on the near side. Dobrjevic with the ball, making a move, puts it back into the middle, and it is cleared by Northern Indiana. Yevtich, near side. To Villa. Villa with the ball. Sends a long ball. Switching fields to Sarver. Sarver working on Talamantes. Drops it off to Grosser. Grosser tried to get it in the middle. Had it knocked away by Northern Indiana.
Oh, boy.
And we got another yellow card. This one's going to Tommaso Villa.
Make the referee's job easy when you do that.
So it'll be a restart for Northern Indiana. Amal will take the restart.
If you're going to pull a jersey like that, you've got to be a little more subtle.
Yeah.
Don't completely extend your arm.
Diego Rodriguez with the ball. Puts it up to Mazza. Villa grabbed him, and there's an automatic whistle. Amal with the ball sends a deep pass down to Sabroso. Sabroso to Saeed. Saeed with a chip into the middle. De Oliveira with it. Off to Talamantes. Talamantes being challenged by Grosser. And now Northern Indiana has it as Akron wanted a foul called. They didn't get it. Now it's headed out by Yevtich.
That's a
and
foul.
now we have another. Now we do have a foul called on Northern Indiana. Akron
And
trying to
another
go
booking.
with a quick start. Northern Indiana jumped right in the way, and he is yellow. That's Talamantes with the yellow.
This rate, everyone's going to have. It's like Oprah, you know. You get a yellow. You get a yellow. Everyone's going to have one.
He might even give us a yellow.
Good luck with that. I'll get my money's worth out of it. I might even get a second yellow.
We're into the 44th minute. It's Northern Indiana 1, Akron City nothing. Giannis Schmidt with the ball, sending it up to, it looks like Grosser. Nope, that was Dobrjevich. Dobrjevich chasing. Pass in the middle, picked off by Villa. Villa to Grosser. Grosser trying to send it up to Sarver, and it goes out of bounds. Throw in for Northern Indiana.
7 bookings, including one on the coach.
Akron sends it deep to Naemi, who sends a long ball right down the middle. Amal does not get called for the push on Kingsford.
I guess he's giving an advantage, but I don't know what kind of advantage there was.
Amal with the ball.
That's got to be
Sending
offsides.
it deep, and we got an offsides flag is up, and it'll be a restart for Akron City. Groves with the ball, taking space.
I think Ray Charles saw that one.
Groves sending it wide to Sarver. Sarver with the ball. Tries to go inside. And now we finally have a whistle as the FAR official was caught in la-la land, not raising his flag and wiggling it for the foul.
The
And
best part
right
is
in front of
Sarver
him.
looked at him like, are you going to raise a flag? And then he did. So is he like a lawyer in his spare time? That was incredible how he got him. Or he's a salesman. I mean, he got the AR to raise his flag because neither the center ref or the AR was going to call a foul there. Sarver just kind of looked at him and shook his head. Boom. Akron City with a restart.
Sarver with the restart from the far side. Puts it in to Schmidt. Schmidt has a bounce off his chest and it's picked off by Northern Indiana. Northern Indiana in transition. Grosser gets it back for Akron. Chipped by Lacerda into the box, and it's headed back to Tavares as he takes an unnecessary dive to waste time.
It's only the first half, though. I don't understand that.
Us goalies know how to take that dive and just lay down there for a few
I
minutes.
never did that. Never. Although I played on a lot of losing teams, so.
Tavares' kick comes deep. It's headed by Schmeider. Schmeider to Schmidt. Schmidt to Dobrjevich. Dobrjevich out wide to Kingsford. Kingsford drops it back in the middle to Villa. Villa. Dobrjevich. Dobrjevich to Sarver. Sarver doing some work. Tries to get around Rodriguez or make that De Silva. And it's going to be a throw in for Akron.
That's the first person I've seen Sarver not be able to get around. That was good defense there by Northern Indiana.
Heel pass intended for Sarver. Ball is cleared way out of bounds by Northern Indiana. Throw in for Akron City. Grosser will take the throw. Puts it into Villa. Villa tried to get over to Sarver. Now it goes to Grosser. Grosser sending it all the way back to Lacerda. And that's going to be the end of the first half of play. Your score from Green Street Stadium at halftime. Northern Indiana 1. Akron City nothing. We'll be back in a few minutes with a wrap-up of the first half and play in the second half. Okay, we'll be sending it down to Cade Carrasco. No, he does not have a microphone, so this is going to be recorded for play later. So we'll be back in a few minutes with the wrap up of the first half. All righty, we're back at Green Street Stadium, John Sistone Field, as we get ready to start the second half of today's contest. Right now, Northern Indiana is on top, 1-0, and we've had 6 yellow cards in the first half.
Well, to play, yeah, and including one to the coach. So, couple were deserved, couple were So, I don't know. Unless that's a case of he doesn't want to have a brawl for sure. But just be consistent, I guess. That's the only thing you can hope for. Don't let them kill each other now in the second half.
Northern Indiana has been the aggressor in today's first half, I would say. Akron City has kind of been back on their heels a little bit here in the first half, although there were a couple of nice plays late in the first half by Akron City where we almost had a couple of goals. But Northern Indiana has basically controlled play in the first half.
Yeah, they have the majority of the possession. They have the majority of the attack. Although you got to credit Akron City's defense, kind of bend, don't break. They really haven't given up any scary chances except off that restart.
That restart, that set piece that was pretty. You don't see them that pretty that often.
Right. The ball was over probably about 10 yards wide of the top corner of the box. Hit a nice in-swinging, driven left foot shot right at the near post at the 6, and had the runner come right on it, flick it on. De Silva got a nice header on it, and those are things that a keeper, you just kind of hope and pray that you're in the way of it, because really there's no chance to react to that fast.
No, absolutely not. All righty, we're getting ready to start the second half. Akron City is on the field in a huddle. Here comes Northern Indiana. Tavares is warming up. See if Naemi is still in goal for Akron City or if they've replaced him. Nope, Naemi is still in goal for Akron City. This is his first start. He is the goalkeeper at Cleveland State. So Akron City will have the kickoff here to start the second half.
Yeah, we got to see if Sarver has been the key offensive threat so far. He's been getting free down the wing a couple times. He made that one great move where he got in and he had multiple options. Laid it off to Kingsford. Kingsford missed just wide of the far post. That was the best chance for Akron City in the first half. And other times they've had moments of pressure. They're just not consistently keeping it up.
So on the kickoff right now, Schmeider is going to take the kick. We got Kingsford and Sarver on the near side with Dobrjevich on the far side, all acting like they're going to attack. You have Vila and Schmidt in the middle, and then you have Grosser, Lacerda, Yevtich, and Groves back on defense. And Schmeider will drop into the midfield position. Now Kingsford and Sarver switch positions on the near side as we get ready to kick off the second half of today's game. Schmeider drops it back to Villa. Villa sending it deep down the sideline to Sarver, and it goes wide. It'll be a throw in for Northern Indiana.
Kind of a little microcosm of the game so far. It's like just off a little bit.
They call a foul on Grosser. As the two guys bumped into each other to get the ball, he calls a foul on Grosser, and it was a shoulder-to-shoulder contact. Now he's making Northern Indiana move the ball back 5 yards.
No comment.
There's the service. Header goes out wide to Saeed. Saeed with it, turns, drops it off to Mazza. To Amal. Amal with the ball back to Mazza. Mazza is taken off the ball momentarily. Amal with it, puts it into the middle. Picked up by Yevtich. Yevtich looking, sending it long for Kingsford, who has two guys on him. It's very similar to what we saw Friday night. There's a header deep, and it's headed back to Tavares for the punt.
Another thing about Akron City, when they play the ball direct out of the back, they're straight balls.
Yes.
They're not diagonal balls. They're straight up the wing, and they're to the near side, so the defense is already there.
Right. Tavares sends it up, picked up by Villa. Villa sends it to Kingsford. Kingsford is looking for somebody, gives it off to Schmeider. Schmeider has it poked away by a guy coming from behind by Northern Indiana.
That's got to be communication there. You got to tell him he's got a man on him.
Groves picks it up, gives it to Villa, and Villa now drops it back to Yevtich. Yevtich over to Lacerda. Lacerda back to Yevtich. Yevtich back to Lacerda. Lacerda sending it deep down the sideline, and nobody is there. Schmeider looking around, looking for somebody, but nobody was there as Sarver was playing back. We are running a one-striker offense. Yevtich back to Naemi. Naemi clears it deep to Dobrajevich into the middle. Schmeider gets his foot on it. Tried to flick it over to Sarver, but it's picked off by Akron or by Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois with the ball. And there's a touch foul by Kingsford, and he blows the whistle.
Something else, too, I noticed about Northern Indiana. Their headers in the air, when it looks like they're just challenging, surprisingly are going right to people.
Saeed on the breakaway. Groves is with him on that far side. Saeed dancing. Sends it all the way across, and there's nobody there. It'll be a throw-in for Akron City. You also hear an awful lot of communication from the Northern Indiana team, just like you heard from Steel City Friday night.
They are very vocal.
Talamantes drops it back to De Oliveira. Over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez to Arrieta. Arrieta taking a lot of space. Has it poked away by Schmidt.
Sarver's free.
Villa to Sarver. Sarver off his chest. And it's going to be taken away by De Silva of Northern Indiana. Sends it up to Saeed. Saeed knocks it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Akron City.
That was unfortunate, that ball to Sarver. It was just a little high. It's kind of hard to take one off your chest and keep it under control, going full speed.
Kingsford on the flick to Dobrajevich. Dobrajevich put it in the middle, and there's nobody there. Taken away by Northern Indiana. Northern Indiana sends it deep, and Naemi comes out to collect it at the 25. Brings it up to Lacerda. Lacerda with the ball. Sending it deep, but there's absolutely nobody there.
That's for that one.
Northern Indiana with it. Sending it deep to number 9, De Oliveira. He was offsides, but there's no flag as nobody chased down the ball as it goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Akron City. And now Northern Indiana bringing their defense up. Throw in is taken away by Amal, knocked out of bounds. Throw in again by Akron City.
Both teams are just kind of slowly beginning the second half. Really, nobody's shown much aggression yet.
Akron City with it. Comes over to Lacerda. Lacerda takes a touch up to Sarver. Lacerda going on a double down. Sarver playing with it. Nutmegs the Northern Indiana defender, and then has it knocked out of bounds. And it'll be a throw-in for Akron City. Sarver's throw-in goes all the way back to Villa. Villa looking for space, sends it out wide to Yevtich. Yevtich with the ball. Sends it long, intended for Kingsford. Headed by Northern Indiana, picked up by Sarver. Sarver's chip into the box is squeezed by Tavares.
That was unfortunate there. There was a loose ball, but two Akron City players both went for it. Again, the communication wasn't there.
De Oliveira with it for Northern Indiana. Sends it up to Talamantes. Back to De Oliveira. De Oliveira. Talamantes. Talamantes tried to go into the middle to a streaking Sabroso, but it was behind him. Clearance coming deep to Kingsford. Kingsford is double teamed. Knocked away by Northern Indiana. Picked up by Schmeider. Schmeider to Schmidt. Schmidt puts it inside to Kingsford. Kingsford has it taken away by Amal. And Amal gets it off to Mazza, and we have a touch foul. And we have a restart for Northern Indiana.
These things are just ruining any kind of flow and momentum to the game.
If you would just let them play a little bit. Rodriguez with the ball for Northern Indiana, up to De Oliveira. To Rodriguez. That is Sabroso. Sabroso to De Oliveira. Saeed on the far side. Saeed with the ball. Knocked off of an Akron City player, collected by Jana Schmidt. Schmidt drops it off to Villa. Villa sending it wide to Lacerda. Lacerda taking it down, drops it off of Northern Indiana. Throw in for Akron City. Sarver on the throw in to Villa. Villa over to Jevtich. Jevtich up to Schmidt, back to Villa, or make that Groves. Groves with the ball. Looking for some space, being challenged by Amal. Sends it out wide to Schmidt. Schmidt up to Dobrievich. Dobrievich going down the far sideline. Has it poked away. Centers it. Nobody there for Akron. Northern Indiana now on the transition. And there's a tackle by Jevtich. He didn't call a foul on that. So he must have had all ball.
Even if he did, he could have still called a foul.
Schmidt tried to get it to Kingsford. Picked up by Northern Indiana. Amal looking for somebody to do something. And he's going to drop it back to the goal scorer, Eduardo da Silva.
A moment ago, Akron City had the ball coming up the wing, and Dobrievich showed his strength, fighting off the defender on several challenges before he got that cross into the middle. Nobody there, though.
Da Silva with it. Sending it wide to a streaking Saeed. Saeed catches up to it deep in the box. Dancing on Groves, and it is now going to be rewarded a corner kick for Northern Indiana.
Well, here's the thing with Northern Indiana, the numbers that they bring forward on these.
Well, they're bringing all 10.
Basically. Yeah, one player is back. There's two floating about 30 yards out, and everybody else is going to be in the box.
Talamantes will get ready to take to today's corner. We're in the 55th minute. It's still 1-0 Northern Indiana. And it loops right out of bounds for a goal kick for Akron City.
Those are the ones that coaches hate. You didn't even give it a chance. You hit a high ball and far, long, and out of bounds. So not on frame, and nobody could get behind it. Good for Akron City.
Restart for Akron City. Comes out wide. Pass intended for Schmeider goes astray, picked off by Northern Indiana. Here comes a chance for Northern Indiana. But Naemi is there to scoop it up. Jevtich. Groves. Groves has his jersey pulled. Taking it down the sideline. Dobrievich cuts inside of Rodriguez. And Rodriguez gets his foot on it. Clears it out. And it's Northern Indiana. Could be called offsides. But he did go for it. And we got a push in the back on the header. It'll be a restart for Akron City.
I am really surprised he's not going back to a delayed yellow there for that jersey pull. Because he gave the advantage, and there was a jersey pull by Akron City that got a card.
Sarver to Schmidt. Schmidt sends it out wide. Dobrievich. Dobrievich sends it all the way across to Grosser. Grosser with it back to Sarver. Sarver looking for somebody. Grosser takes a shot, and it is chipped away by Northern Indiana. Northern Indiana has it, and they're going to clear it out down the near sideline. Finally picked off by Jevtich. Jevtich to Lacerda. Lacerda back to Naemi, the goalie. Naomi's going to send it up to Villa. Villa chests it down, tries to make the turn. Can't do it as Talamantes takes him down.
You better watch out. He's already been booked.
And now we're going to have a sub coming into the game for Akron City as Schmeider is going out. I'm assuming that's Faria.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7, Pedro Faria is into the game now for Akron City. And it's going to be a restart for Akron City here in just a moment.
Well, Faria's already taking left wing, and he's going high. So that's a good sign. They want him to go in and stretch the field, be more of an attack.
Villa drops it back to Lacerda. Lacerda to Villa. Villa back to Lacerda. Lacerda with it, back to Villa, and it's poked away by, and there's a shot.
Oof.
Goal kick, Akron.
Those are the ones that if that goes in, that's where blood pressure medicine gets involved. You were playing around, you gave it away, and your keeper's off his line. There wasn't much positive that happened on that play except the ball going over the top of the bar.
You know that Northern Indiana is going to come to the ball, so why are you playing with it? They always have been coming to the ball the entire game. You don't play. Dobrjevich, or is that Faria? Faria down the sideline. His pass into the middle is taken away by Northern Indiana. Northern Indiana's header poked by Mazza, and it's rolling and rolling and rolling and is kicked out of bounds by Naomi for a throw-in for Northern Indiana.
Interesting. He wasn't going to leave it up to the officials to call a corner there, so rather just concede a throw-in. But I like it already. Faria, he's in the game 1 minute. Already gets the ball down the wing. Just a little bit better cross you need next time. Make it a little more dangerous.
Rodriguez on the throw-in for Northern Indiana. There's a flick into the middle. Nobody there for Northern Indiana. Lacerda has his pass partially blocked up to Sarver. Sarver loses it to De Silva. And now it's Akron City with the ball. Naomi has his pass, and there's a shot by Talamantes. And again, playing around with the ball in your defensive end.
That's the third time, though, Niemi's got away with that, though. Making poor clearances and playing it right to the other player. This one, he gave up an empty net.
Deep ball to Faria down the left side. Faria tries to get it into Dobrjevich. It's going to be kicked out of bounds by Northern Indiana. It'll be a throw-in for Akron City.
Other than dribbling, you want to know what Niemi reminds me of? Remember Rene Higuita from Colombia, the goalkeeper that would always come out? And he did it in the World Cup, but he lost the ball and gave up a couple empty nets.
Faria with it. Drops it back to Schmidt. Schmidt sends it all the way back to Lacerda.
I think the problem with that is he did it against Brazil. That's
one team you don't play around with.
No, and they made him pay.
Schmidt tried to get it to Faria, and it's going to be a throw-in for Northern Indiana. Sabrosa sends it back to Amal. Amal's deep pass is on target to Talamantes, but it is chipped away by Grosser. Grosser providing the defense. There's a flick by De Silva. Grosser chased Talamantes off the ball.
That was a beautiful box out.
Lucerda with it to Villa. Villa sending a deep ball down the left sideline now to Faria. Faria working on Rodriguez. Faria with it. Take it inside. Rodriguez gets him off the ball. Rodriguez sends it back to look like the other Rodriguez.
I like how the pace has picked up a little bit here in the last few minutes.
Lacerda with it now in the middle of the field for Akron City. They're playing flat, and we've got nobody moving. Up and over. Up and over. No. Rodriguez to Amal. Talamantes running onto the ball. Picked up by Naomi. Naomi puts it over to Villa. Here's your up and over to Dobrievich. Dobrievich down the right sideline.
But he's got nobody with him.
Here comes Sarver. Sarver with the ball. Now drops it back to Villa.
Have it.
Villa takes the shot, and it's blocked by number 10, De Oliveira. Sarver gets it back.
Nice track
Sarver
back.
drops it off to Schmidt. Schmidt to Ferreira. Ferreira shot is high as he stepped back instead of stepping over.
Give credit on that one. Give it to Sarver, to Villa, keeping the ball alive. Schmidt was in there, and they sprung Faria. Just couldn't put it on frame.
Faria on the steal. He saves it from going out of bounds. It's Akron City's ball. There's Faria's pass back to Schmidt. Schmidt drops it off to Villa. Villa over to Sarver. Sarver's shot.
Oh!
Bang! Goal! Akron! Sam Sarver. It looks like he kind of hit the top of the ball, and that ball took a nice arc and then dove down just below Tavares' stretch and bounced right into the goal.
It looked like it had top spin on it, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He topped the ball when he kicked it.
But when they were playing the ball around, first Schmidt got it, and I'm like, okay, I want to see a shot from distance, but he was off balance. So he laid it off, gave it to Villa. Villa's like, okay, there's men in front of me. Let's lay it up to Sarver. And we had a great angle of that. Sarver had an opening. It was from distance, but why not?
Absolutely.
See what happens?
Absolutely.
He loves the far post, too, and he finds a way to get it in the far post.
64th minute. We're tied up at 1-1 here at Green Street Stadium. Schmidt is going off the field, so we had a sub, and we didn't catch it. But we'll figure it out here in a second. We got 3, 5, 9. Oh, Schmidt's off for, looks like he's got to get blood on his knee, so he's going to get wrapped. So he's off for medical, not for a substitution. Northern Indiana with the ball on the far sideline. Rodriguez has it. Pokes it in the middle. Picked off by De Oliveira. De Oliveira sends it out wide. A great block by Faria, who can't be but, 5'6"?
He was
He
7'6" on that one.
He was in the air. Throw in by Northern Indiana. Comes into Sobroso. Cleared out by Villa. Headed by Rodriguez to the far side. Faria is over there challenging Rodriguez for the ball. Now here comes Schmidt. Picked up. Kicked out of bounds by Northern Indiana.
I love the pace of Faria. He comes in one speed only. He's dead ahead. Schmidt
trying to find space. He's being double teamed. He's being triple teamed. He gets sent down to the ground by two Northern Indiana players, and he gets called for the foul.
Here comes a booking on the bench.
Well, I would be yelling at him too, because that was not. I have no idea where this guy's coming up with some of these calls. I've seen people get mugged out and not get a yellow card. This time, this guy's unbelievable. You're going to have half of each team disqualified before the game's over. Unreal.
He's going to run out of ink in his pen.
Northern Illinois with the ball. Amal off to De Oliveira. De Oliveira taking a lot of space in the middle. Off to Mazza. Mazza out to De Silva. De Silva tries to center it. Nobody there. Kingsford gets a touch. Picked up by Mazza. Mazza shot high. Goal kick, Akron.
The buildup on that for Northern Indiana, Akron City played a little bit higher line. They were trying to sneak players in behind. Akron City was stepping up, and so they couldn't find the passing lanes. It would have been offside. So good job defensively on that play by Akron City.
Restart by Akron City on the goal kick.
And when you do that, you force them to shoot from distance, and the percentages are low. You saw the shot.
Naomi sends it up to the far sideline, picked off by Northern Indiana. That's Sobrosa with it. tries to get it in the middle. It's picked off by Schmidt. Schmidt trying to make some moves. Still has it. Out to Faria on a give and go to Schmidt. And it's knocked over the touchline by Northern Indiana for an Akron throw-in.
I swear he has Velcro on his shoe, and it's on the ball, too. he just scoops it around defenders and keeps going. I don't know how Giannis Schmidt does it.
Villa sends it wide, picked up by Sarver. Sarver back to Kingsford. Kingsford trying to get it to Sarver. Picked off by Northern Indiana. Zobrjevich chasing down Talamantis. And Zobrjevich is called for a foul as he pushed off on Talamantis.
That was a soft jersey pull. That's why he didn't get a booking. And that was 6 inches too far forward.
Amal into the middle. Pass to Talamantis, taken away by Lacerda. Goes to De Silva. De Silva switches fields to Saeed. Saeed on the far side with Rodriguez overlapping. Saeed drops it back to Talamantis. Talamantis to Amal. Amal in the middle to Sabrosa. Sabrosa with it to Maza. Maza to De Silva. De Silva. Ooh. It's going to be a corner.
I think they're going to say that Niemi got a piece of it, but wow, that was a rip.
Corner kick for Northern Indiana.
A no-angle left-footed shot to the far post.
There's a swinger. Touched by Niemi. Should be a...
Looks like he's lining up for a corner.
Niemi.
Bodies hit the floor.
And we've got, is that Zobrjevich on the ground? Jevtic?
Yeah, he got run into by Arrieta. The two center backs collided there inside the 6.
Jevtic is up. Seems to be okay. Be a drop ball, Akron City possession as we into the 70th minute. We have a sub coming onto the field for Northern Indiana. Saeed is coming out. And into the game for Northern Indiana, number 19, Gabe Nyanka. Niemi with the ball, telling everybody to clear out. Sends it to the middle to Kingsford. Kingsford tried to get ahead on it, couldn't do it. Diego Rodriguez was there. Schmidt on the steal. Kingsford just poked it, tried to get it to Dobrjevich. Stolen away by Amal. Amal gets it back from De Oliveira. Kingsford now comes back, takes the ball away. Tries to send it down the line to Sarver. Miskicks it. Dobrjevich broke it up momentarily. Here's Maza. Maza trying to sneak it into Sabroso. Faria. High. Dobrjevich trying to get to it. Couldn't do it. Here's Kingsford with a flick over to Sarver. Sarver back to Kingsford. Over to Grosser. Grosser to Villa. Villa sends it back to Lacerda. Lacerda to Schmidt. Schmidt, long ball to Sarver is a little bit too long. Throw in for Northern Indiana.
We got a little bit more than 20 minutes left with stoppage time. So let's see if Akron City can build something. I like the pace of Farias. Even can't play one wide to him again or sneak Sarver down this wing.
There's a throw in by Northern Indiana. Lacerda gets his head on it. Jevtic clears it. Northern Indiana with it. up to Mazza. Mazza over to De Oliveira. De Oliveira out wide right. Moves being made. Finally poked away by Akron City. There's a shot.
Oh.
And it goes in from Northern Indiana. That's number 6. Andres Gonzalez Mazza with the goal. And it is now 2-1 Northern Indiana. Again, we chip the ball away, but nobody goes for it. Lays out there just perfectly for Northern Indiana, and they take advantage of it.
Yeah, Mazza was just kind of lurking in the middle of the field, top of the box. Ball just came to him, and he just hammered it with his left foot right in the corner.
2-1 Northern Indiana in the 73rd minute. Kingsford via Grosser taking space off the Sarver. Sarver takes it back inside. Middle of the field is wide open. There's nobody there. Tried to get it to Faria. Knocked away by Rodriguez. Sent up to the goal scorer, Mazza. Mazza with the ball. And there's 2 guys offsides for Northern Indiana.
Yeah, well offsides.
And it'll be a restart for Akron City. Yevtich with it. Stolen away by Mazza as Yevtich just stood there and waited for somebody to break. And Mazza rifles a shot, saved by Naemi. Goes over the touchline. It'll be a throw-in for Northern Indiana.
He's feeling it now. He wants to shoot anytime he gets a chance.
Rodriguez jogging down to take the throw-in for Northern Indiana.
Yeah, he's in no hurry.
Two-1, Northern Indiana. There's a throw-in to a maul, and we have a foul called. It's going to be Akron City's ball.
You're even questioning the calls that Akron City gets.
There was nothing there. Absolutely nothing there. Amal didn't do anything wrong.
I don't know. Did we read the wrong rule book? Is there a new one that I don't know about?
It's incredible. Kingsford drops it back to Yevtich. Yevtich up to Groves. Groves sends it out wide to Faria, working on Rodriguez. Faria goes down, and there is no whistle. Northern Indiana with the ball. Faria comes back, takes it away. Kingsford with it. Kingsford trying to take it. There goes.
Ooh. Tries
to get it to Faria. And it's taken away by Northern Indiana. Mazza with it.
He's off.
Offsides on Northern Indiana. It'll be a free kick for Akron City. And now.
See, and this is what I said when all the touch fouls. Be consistent. Now he's not being consistent. He's letting a lot go, and he's calling bizarre calls, and the players are getting frustrated. And all this is going to lead to is him booking more players because they're not on the same page as him. They don't know what he's calling.
He don't even know what he's calling.
I wasn't going there.
Yeah, well, I went there. You know me.
I lobbed it up for you.
Thanks. And I'm knocked it out of the park. Faria with the ball. Drops it back to Yevtich. Yevtich over to Lacerda. Lacerda with it. Sending it deep to a streaking Sarver, who's going to get to it. Tavares gets to it, and, of course, he takes the dive.
He was tired. He needed a quick,
oh, yeah. Okay.
quick rest.
Amal with it. Nyanka gives it to Sobrosa. Sobrosa to Mazza. Mazza sends it deep. The flag did not go up, and there's 3 guys with Groves, the only one back, and he had to streak back to get in defensive position to knock the ball over the touchline for a corner for Northern Indiana. As
That was fortunate that he got a piece of that because there was a lot of red jerseys open in the middle.
There was 3 there. Amal will take the corner. Swings it in.
Ooh.
Northern Indiana still with it. It's Amal. Drops it inside to Sabrosa. Cleared out by Villa to Faria. Faria with the ball. Kingsford. Kingsford's passes have been off today.
Yeah. Wow. He's 15 yards offsides, and he takes it off his chest, and he's going to take a booking because he puts the ball in the parking lot.
Yep.
But the fact that he even played that as if he wasn't so far offsides.
That booking goes to Sabroso of Northern Indiana. We've got a couple of subs coming on for Akron City. Grosser and Villa are coming off. And we shall see who's coming in for Akron. In the lineup for Akron City is number 10, Matthew McLaughlin, and also number 27, Kelly Jansen. Jansen is back. He's not back. He's playing a forward position as Kingsford drops into the midfield. Schmidt with the ball, being chased. Tried to get it to Sarver, and it was about 5 yards too short. Throw in for Northern Indiana. Throw in, there's a flick.
He wants to go a little quicker. He can always add time.
By number 23, that's Mendez on for Northern Indiana. Lacerda tried to go up the line. Throw in Northern Indiana. De Oliveira into Mendez. There's a push down, and it'll be a restart for Akron City. Lucerda to Yevtich. Yevtich to Lucerda. Back to Naomi. Naomi sending it long. Headed by Northern Indiana. Nyanko with it. Mendez, Amal. Kingsford takes it away. Kingsford with it. Poked away by Mazza. Up to McLaughlin. McLaughlin sending it deep to a streaking Faria. Rodriguez is with him. Faria with the shot, just wide. It'll be a goal kick for Northern Indiana.
Great ball by McLaughlin.
Yes. Good ball.
Even Faria, good first touch. Good shot. Just not great, unfortunately. Couldn't find the net.
Restart for Northern Indiana.
But one thing I noticed about that long diagonal ball.
Yes.
Not a straight ball.
Schmidt goes down. Free kick for Akron City. Yevtich with it. Lacerda. Lacerda to Schmidt. Schmidt, the server, has it taken away. There's Mazza. Amal. De Oliveira. Streaking Mendez one-on-one with the keeper.
Ooh.
Naomi stops the first shot. Gets it to Nyanka. Now it's poked away by Akron City. They both go down. It's going to be a restart for Akron City.
Great save by Naomi.
Absolutely.
He almost kind of guessed. Almost like a penalty. He went down early, but he went the right way. Kept it a one-goal game.
Kingsford with it to Sarver. Sarver taking it in the middle. Kingsford picks up the loose ball back to Sam. Sam has it knocked off of Rodriguez. Faria with a chip. Sarver giving chase. Northern Indiana comes up with it. Nyanka has it go over the touchline. It'll be a throw in for Akron City.
I like what Kingsford did there. The ball was coming in high. He was boxing out the defender. He was trying to get possession, maybe get a call in the box.
Schmidt with it. Chip to Jansen, cleared out by Northern Indiana. Here comes Mendez. Groves knocks it back to Naomi. Naomi with the ball. Sending it wide to Faria, and it's well out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for Northern Indiana.
Ouch. You got to give credit to Leo Mendez. He's one player up top for Northern Indiana, and he's making a lot of havoc. He's just creating it. He had the one chance, and he almost nearly got another one there. Groves had to track back.
Speed kills.
Well, he shows it, and he also has the pace. You know, he's not giving up. He's playing intense, kind of like what Faria's doing. Faria's doing it on that wing.
In the lineup for Northern Indiana, number 25, Miguel Martins. Throw in for Northern Indiana. 83rd minute, 2-1, Northern Indiana. Yevtich chasing it down as Mendez provides pressure. Naomi with the ball. McLaughlin with it. Sends it deep to a streaking Dobrievich. Shot comes wide. Picked up, sent back. Faria gets his foot on it. Cleared out by Northern Indiana. Poked away momentarily. Nyanka with it near sideline. Nyanka now drifts back. There's a chip down to Mazza. Mazza working deep, crosses. Akron takes it away. Sends it up the line to McLaughlin, but it goes out of bounds off his foot. There'll be a throw in Northern Indiana.
Moments ago, that chance for Dobrievich. That's the second ball by McLaughlin. Over the top, right onto a streaking runner. And Dobrievich's shot, the goalkeeper got just enough to keep it out, and Jansen couldn't get the rebound.
Throw in Akron City.
You got to wonder where McLaughlin's been all game. He's been showing a little spark about getting the ball upfield.
McLaughlin sends it wide. Yevtich. Groves up to Faria. Or check that. That's not Faria. That's Dobrievich. Dobrievich down the line. Trying to get it inside. There's a centering pass. Kingsford with a shot. Ties it up. Goal! Akron. Ryan Kingsford off the deflection for Akron's second goal of the game.
Another great ball up the wing. Dobrievich fought off the challenge. The official gave the advantage. Played the ball in. Kind of ping-ponged around. The goalkeeper punched it out. Goalkeeper, I think, got injured on the play. He dove into somebody. But the ball came right to Kingsford, top of the box, had an empty net, did what a striker does. Put it in the empty net.
Tavares is down momentarily. He is now helped up by one of the trainers.
That's twice so today, Akron City. Again, they've had moments of stagnant play, a little bit of staleness, but they've found ways to get the equalizer twice. There's still a handful of minutes left. Let's see, keep it up. See if you get one more. Come away with a victory. Oh, I didn't even think about it. In cup rules, are we playing overtimes here?
I would think so. You got to have a winner to move on to the next round.
Unless they both go.
No.
And they both play the next team. Play a little round robin.
I don't think so. Northern Indiana with the kickoff.
Be like the referee. Everyone gets a yellow. Every team goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody needs to check his credentials.
What's funny is you say everything I think. You know, are you psychic or psychotic?
Both. Amal with the ball. Off to De Oliveira. Back to Amal on the give and go. poked away by Yevtich, up to Jansen. Jansen loses it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez chipped to Mendez. Akron trying to get it deep to Ferreira. Fernandez pokes it away. Northern Indiana, Mendez is offsides.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a restart for Akron City at about the 30-yard line.
Something I noticed is Akron City's playing a little more direct. The midfield hasn't been involved. Like, we really haven't seen Villa or Schmidt really touch the ball much in the last few minutes. But when you're putting balls over the top, right onto Dobrjevich and Faria, I guess they're there as a filler. You know, like they're going to be the second wave.
Yevtich with the ball. Sending it deep to Faria. Rodriguez flicks it up to Amal. Amal, Kingsford giving chase. Drops it back. De Silva back to Tavares. Jansen trying to chase it down. The ball goes to Groves. Groves to Dobrjevich, who's now dropped back in the midfield. Dobrjevich now sends it to a streaking Sarver down the near sideline. Sarver with the flick in is knocked out of bounds by De Silva. It'll be an Akron City goal kick. Or check that, Akron City corner. Sarver with the corner. Drops it into Kingsford. Kingsford back to Sarver. Poked away.
Ouch.
Sarver goes down. No foul called.
Oof, that was a harsh tackle.
Must have got all ball. That's the only thing I can say.
He might have, but it's still harsh.
Yevtich puts it across to Groves. Groves back to Yevtich. Back to Naemi. Naemi deep. Kingsford with it to Sarver. Sarver with it. Cross to Faria. Faria chasing it down on the far side. Back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin tries to squeeze it into Jansen. Comes to Faria. Faria with a chip to Jansen. Jansen with the ball is being pushed off the ball. We have a flag up in the air, and they're going to call it on Jansen.
Well, I think they called him offsides. He did look a step close to being offside.
And we have a Northern Indiana player down. Trainer comes out. I hope this center referee is keeping good track of time. That's Martin down. So we'll see what's going to happen here.
Yeah, we got to see how much injury time here because you want to think about it. We've had 3 goals, a couple yellows. We've had a couple times where he's yelled at players, speeded up, and pointed to his watch. So, but the rules are 2 15-minute overtimes.
And then golden goal.
Believe it's golden goal, and then penalties.
All righty. That's Mazza getting up off of the field, walking towards the sidelines. See who comes in for Mazza. Looks like it's going to be Martin Van Thun coming in for Northern Indiana. So it's going to be a restart for Northern Indiana on the offsides call on Jansen. Tavares off to Van Thun. Official didn't blow his whistle for the start, so now we're going to restart it again. Tavares to Van Thun. Jansen providing pressure. Groves with a header. goes out of bounds. Throw in for Northern Indiana.
So now we're in stoppage time. So let's see how much he's going to give, and then do we go to extra time?
Mendez, service, blocked, throw in, Northern Indiana. That's Groves on the defense. Rodriguez into Mendez. Mendez being guarded by Groves. There's a clear out off of Northern Indiana. It's going to be a goal kick for Akron City.
Good double team by Akron City there. One player challenged, one player won the ball, played it off the opposing player, and the restart will come to Akron City.
So we're in the stoppage time. Don't know how much we're going to have, but it's tied up at 2-2. Naemi's goal kick comes out wide. It's picked up by Rodriguez. Faria has it bounce off of him for a throw-in for Northern Indiana. Throw in by Rodriguez to Nyanka. Goes back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez sends it back to Von Thun. Amal out wide to Arrieta. Arrieta to De Silva. Broken up by McLaughlin. It'll be a throw in for Northern Indiana.
McLaughlin has been a spark plug in the back. He was playing like a holding. Now he's playing out wide. But he's been challenging balls. He's been sending some beautiful long balls. Good sub there.
Nyanka with the ball in the middle of the field for Northern Indiana. Sends it out wide to Rodriguez. Rodriguez into Mendez. Mendez tries to turn. Drops it back to Rodriguez. Amal to the other Rodriguez. Now up to Mendez, I believe. Nope. There's Nyanka. Nyanka with it. Centers it. Blocked by Yevtich, and Yevtich sends it out. Far sideline. Collected by Rodriguez to Amal. Back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez to Nyanka. Nyanka. Nyanka with the ball into the middle to De Oliveira. De Oliveira out to Arrieta. Arrieta moves on Sarver. And it is cleared long. Picked up by Tavares to Von Thun. Von Thun to Rodriguez. To the other Rodriguez. And that is the end of play. We're tied at the end of regulation. Northern Indiana 2, Akron City 2.
So now we're going to have two 15-minute overtimes, no golden goal.
No golden goal?
No.
Okay. So two 15-minute overtimes, and if it's tied after that, we'll go to a shootout.
That'll be fun.
So no golden goal. That means we just keep adding on to the total, and hopefully the total is on Akron City's side. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the start of our first overtime period. Once again, tie score, Northern Indiana 2, Akron City 2. We are back at Green Street Stadium, Sistone Field, as we get ready to start the first overtime period of this afternoon's matchup. We're tied up, Northern Indiana 2, Akron City 2. It's been a hotly contested game with an awful lot of unnecessary yellow cards. I've lost track at 8, and I know there's been a few more on top of that one. So we shall see. Akron City will kick off to start the first overtime period as we are 2-2. Sarver is wide to the far side. Faria is wide to the near side. Kingsford and Jansen are in the middle for Akron City on the kickoff for the first overtime period. Jansen sends it back to Dobrjevich. Dobrjevich over to Schmidt. Now it comes wide to Groves. Groves fakes the long pass, drops it back to Yevtich. Yevtich with it. Looking for somebody to make a move. Now he's going to send it deep to Faria. Faria streaking down the near sideline. Faria runs onto it. Centers it into the middle.
Ooh!
And it was almost knocked in twice. Once by Rodriguez and once by Jansen. But we are going to have we're going to have a corner kick for Akron City.
Yeah, the keeper, Tavares, tipped it over the bar, almost an own goal, and he got on it, but it hit the football crossbar, so we're going to have a corner. Ooh, that was almost magic for Akron City.
Absolutely.
I always said I'd rather be lucky than good. Take a lucky bounce anytime. Ooh.
There's a service wide to Kingsford.
Yeah, that one was tough. Dobrjevich was making a run through the 6, and he made contact with Tavares, knocked him down. He's trying to say he was pushed into him.
Tavares, Devon Thune, back to Tavares. There's pressure by Jansen. Jansen almost got to it. Kingsford now flicks it to Sarver. Sarver to Schmidt. Schmidt takes the shot, and it's wide, so it'll be a goal kick for Northern Indiana.
Wow, Akron City's got to take advantage of those chances. Northern Indiana got really sloppy in the back. They played the ball back to their keeper, and they gave him a hospital ball. He didn't handle it very well, and unfortunate for Akron City, they couldn't capitalize.
Arrieta will take the restart for Northern Indiana. Drops it back to Tavares. Back to Arrieta. Arrieta sending it long. Headed away by Akron City. Kingsford to a streaking Sarver down the far sideline. Sarver with it. Puts it into the middle. Rodriguez is there to head it out. Picked up by Dobrjevich, and it is smothered by Tavares on the shot.
Sarver makes so much happen down the wings. When he gets in behind the defense, the other team's got to be quaking in their boots.
Rodriguez with it on the near sideline. Drops into the middle to De Oliveira. De Oliveira with it. Over to Amal. Sarver, Kingsford putting on pressure. Von Thune with it. Sends it out wide to Nyanka. Nyanka sending it deep to number 25. That is Martins. Martins into the middle. McLaughlin chases it down, or is that Dobrjevich? And it's going to be knocked out of bounds and a goal kick for Akron City.
I like how Dobrjevich is coming all the way back, helping on the defense.
Yevtich up to Groves. Groves up to Faria. Faria with a heel pass. Nobody there. Picked up by Rodriguez to Amal. There's a flick. And there's number 10. That's McLaughlin getting involved. Schmidt sending a deep ball to Sarver. Far side. Sarver working on Arrieta. Sarver takes it deep. Tries to cross it. Arrieta pokes it away. Now going up the sideline, and it's kicked over the touchline by Akron City to be a throw-in for Northern Indiana. Sarver is at a disadvantage there because Arrieta's legs are about 8 feet long.
Yeah, and when he went to ground, he just spread eagle, and there was nowhere for Sarver to get around him.
Northern Indiana with the throw-in. headed by Akron City and then by Northern Indiana. Be Akron City throw-in. Kingsford tried to get it to Sarver, but it's kicked away by Northern Indiana and out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Akron City once again.
Seems like Akron City's having the majority of the possession so far in the overtime, and it almost seems the Travelers are playing a little passive.
Groves with it on the near side, taking space. Now sends a deep ball to a streaking Jansen. Off to Faria. Faria with it, and Faria is knocked off the ball. We got a PK.
My.
We got a PK in the box as Faria was bodied off of the ball, and the penalty kick is called.
Wow.
Shoulder to shoulder.
That did look like a 100% shoulder to shoulder. I mean, Akron City will take it, and Northern Indiana can't believe it. And it almost looked like an unnecessary challenge, too. The ball was getting back to the keeper.
Yes.
But credit Faria. Faria got in there, hustled, forced the defender to make contact, and forced the referee to make a call.
Tavares is getting set up. Kingsford is going to take the PK.
What? We'll zoom out so you can. Oh. Yeah. We'll zoom out so I can see the show. More.
Kingsford on the PK. Northern Indiana is getting ready to rush as quickly as possible in case it is missed. Tavares, hands on his knees. Kingsford, hands on his hips. Tavares is ready. Kingsford is ready. And Kingsford finds the back of the net for the goal. Akron City goes on top 3-2 here in the first overtime period as Kingsford buries the PK.
In the 97th minute. So that's a beautiful thing. Akron City, their first lead of the game. Give them credit. You know, they've had moments where things weren't going well, were not the way they wanted, but I think two of the best subs this game have been Faria and McLaughlin. Faria with his pace and his intensity and just he's downhill all day long. He created that chance. Ball going into the box, didn't give up on it. It could have been an easy head back to the keeper by the defender. He went in, he challenged, he forced the defender to make contact. Force the referee to make a call. PK. Kingsford puts it away.
Northern Indiana with the kickoff. Martin's with it. Going into the middle. Picked up by Nyanka. Nyanka goes back to Rodriguez. Rodriguez into the middle to Martins. Martins up to Mendez. Back to Martins. Now Martins sends it wide to De Silva. Goes into the middle. Knocked away by Yevtich with a header. Comes out wide. Martins has it. Heel pass. Picked up by Sarver. Sarver into the middle to Faria. Faria tries to send it out wide to Kingsford. Kingsford touches it. Now Kingsford is brought down on a sliding tackle by number 5, De Silva. And we got a booking for number 5, De Silva, on a yellow card as Kingsford is down momentarily. That's yellow card 1,286 in this game.
I think 87.
Okay.
You missed one.
Oh, I forgot about the one on the bench.
There you go.
My bad.
Well, there was one on each bench, if you remember. Each coach got one.
Oh, boy.
Did the hot dog vendor get one?
He might if you don't watch out.
The nacho guy's next.
Sarver on the restart for Akron City. Gives it off to Schmidt. Schmidt.
I'm surprised he doesn't give one to the train conductor.
Kingsford. He probably will if he blows his horn. McLaughlin with it, trying to take space. He does. Takes it down the sideline. Now puts it into the middle. Picked off by Arrieta. Arrieta sends it to Sarver. Sarver to Kingsford. Kingsford coming wide to Groves. Groves with the ball, working on Nyanka. Groves takes it back to the middle, drops it back to Kingsford. Missed pass. Picked up by Mendez. Mendez sends it down to nobody as Mendez fell to the ground. No foul called.
Northern Indiana is not liking this referee either.
Groves puts it into Yevtich. Yevtich sends it deep. Jansen tried to get his head on it, couldn't do it. Amal with it, cleared out of bounds by Akron City. It'll be a throw in for Northern Indiana. Rodriguez will throw it in. Amal with it, out to Martins. Martins sends it down the sideline to Rodriguez, trying to get onto it, and he knocks it off of, looks like McLaughlin or Dobrjevich. It'll be a corner for Northern Indiana.
Yeah, Dobrjevich is playing more almost like a left back since the end of regulation and in overtime here.
Amal with the corner. Here it comes. Sends it deep. Northern Indiana gets a foot on it. That was De Oliveira, but it goes high and wide. It'll be a goal kick for Akron City.
Harmless. Ball just floated to the far post, and he really didn't have any good rhythm or any balance to that. So Akron City just take their time, milk it a little, take a few seconds off, see if they can't get through this first overtime period, at least with a 1-goal lead.
Naomi with the goal kick, sending it deep. Picked off by Von Thun to Martins. Martins' header is no good as Schmidt picks it up, goes to Faria. Tavares with the header, out to Rodriguez.
There's Faria again, though, with the hustle and forcing the goalkeeper to make an odd play. Diving header.
Rodriguez to Nyanka, knocked off of Dobrjevich, and then back off of Nyanka, so it's going to be a throw-in for Akron City. Great play by Dobrjevich.
Everybody's just feeling a little more pep in their step here for Akron City. It's a good thing.
Groves throw into Faria. Faria with the ball, working on two people. It'll be a throw-in for Akron City.
The Travelers are now exercising their First Amendment to the man in green a lot.
Kingsford with the ball, up to Groves. Groves takes it inside, sends it outside to a streaking Faria, and Faria can't get to it, so it's going to be throw in for Northern Indiana.
Again, he's fast, but not that fast.
Yeah. Here comes the throw. Yevtich knocks it out of bounds. Throw in for Northern Indiana. Rodriguez, nope. Von Thun will throw it in this time. Von Thun's throw in to Nyanka, off of Nyanka's chest to Rodriguez, to Nyanka's head, back to Rodriguez, to Martins. Martins to Amal. Amal to Arrieta. Pressure by Kingsford. Now Jansen up to Amal. Amal puts it out wide to Rodriguez. Rodriguez tries to go into the middle. Picked off by McLaughlin. McLaughlin on the turn up the sideline. Pokes it deep. Intended for Faria, I guess. Arrieta, Tavares, Jansen trying to get a foot on it. Picked off by McLaughlin. There's Sarver. Sarver back to Kingsford. Kingsford sends it out wide. McLaughlin with it. Sends it to Sarver. Sarver tries to put it in the middle. And it goes off of Northern Indiana for an Akron City goal kick.
It's crazy. Up one here in overtime. Akron City, they're not sitting back on a shell. They're kind of amping up the temperature of this game, and they're playing with pressure.
Kingsford on the restart. There's the service headed out, picked up by De Silva. McLaughlin over there providing the pressure. Kingsford brings it down, loses it, picked up by Sarver. Now it goes over to Groves. Groves shot a little wide. It'll be a goal kick for Northern Indiana. Von Thun to Amal. Amal with a flick over to Rodriguez. Faria providing pressure. Rodriguez with it, drops it back to Von Thun. Von Thune now sends it wide. Far side to De Silva. De Silva puts it back into the middle. Schmidt is there for Akron City. Schmidt chips it up, chased down by Faria. Faria sends it back to McLaughlin. McLaughlin trying to get it up to Jansen. Taken away by Von Thune to Nyanka. Nyanka with a through ball to De Oliveira. Stopped by Niemi. Niemi on the rebound.
Wow.
Went off the top post into a corner for Northern Indiana.
And then there's a big collision where Niemi got run into on the rebound attempt. But he made a great diving save to the one. The second opportunity hit the bar, and fortunately it didn't hit the defender coming back off of him for her own goal. Instead, it went out for a corner. So, again, Niemi makes another great save on a one-on-one. He's made a couple of those tonight.
So we are well into the 15th minute of the overtime, and Niemi is down, and they're looking him over. Now he's in a sitting up position, trying to clear the cobwebs out of the head. Getting some water. Trainer helps him up, and he looks like he's ready to play.
Yeah, that was another really nice save, though. Went down low with his left arm, near post save. Just he gave up the rebound. That's the only problem, the only bad thing about it. But he got up enough to force the chip that wouldn't go into an empty net, and the woodwork saved him again.
So it'll be a corner kick for Northern Indiana. We'll see how much stoppage time is in this first overtime period. And now we just have another booking. It looks like it's on number 10, De Oliveira. There's the service. Schmidt had it, lost it. Poke into the box. Oof. Cleared out by Akron for a
wow,
goal kick.
He's trying to say it went out off of FC Indiana, but the play before that, off the corner, they tried to say that a ball hit a hand. It was handled by Akron City. The Northern Indiana players were going crazy for a handball. I don't know who they were thinking it was on.
Niemi will do the goal kick.
So we're into stoppage time of the first overtime.
Yes, we are. Niemi's kick goes deep. There's the whistle to end the first overtime. So overtime number 1 in the books. Akron City scores in the first overtime on a PK by Ryan Kingsford. And Akron City is up 3-2. We'll be back with the second overtime in just a moment. We're back, Green Street Stadium, John Sistone Field, as we begin the second overtime period of today's matchup between Northern Indiana and Akron City, with your Akron City Football Club on top 3-2. And we have our friendly neighborhood train coming through.
Well, we got to have one for every period.
He just went by, didn't he?
One went that way, one's coming this way. I don't know. I can't keep track.
Dianka down the near sideline to a streaking 21. That is Juan Perez into the game. And it's going to be a goal kick for Akron City.
Yep, so that's the first change here we've seen. They want to get Perez down the wing now. Oh, he's already yelling at him to hurry up. Wow.
Naomi's goal kick bounces, flicked by Faria to Jansen. Jansen puts it into the middle. Von Thun is there, out to Arrieta. Arrieta sets it wide to De Silva. De Silva, long ball, headed away by Akron City. That's Dobrjevich with the ball, and it's going to be a throw-in for Northern Indiana.
Tried a tightrope walk, just ran out of real estate. Unfortunate.
Throw in, headed by Schmidt, out of bounds.
I love his motor. Schmidt really hasn't been involved in many plays, but when he is, he's around the ball.
De Silva's throw in. Cleared out momentarily. Amal comes down with it to Martins. Now it's cleared out by McLaughlin, I believe, and it's going deep. Tavares sends it out wide to Von Thun. Von Thun chasing it down. Faria there to put on pressure. Here comes Arrieta. Arrieta, far side. Knocked out of bounds by Akron City. That's Schmidt. Throw in, Northern Indiana.
Something Akron City's doing, too, is when the ball goes into the defensive end for the Travelers, they're bringing a high line up. So unless the Travelers can bang an 80-yard ball, they're not really going to get anywhere.
Rodriguez with it, working on Schmidt. Poked away by Dobrjevich, sending it long to Jansen. Cleared by Von Thun, back to Tavares. Tavares drops it off to Arrieta. Arrieta coming near side, taking space. Akron just dropping back. Arrieta sends it deep to De Oliveira. De Oliveira lets it go to Mendez, going out wide. Or check that, that was Martins. Mendez has it that side. And he bangs it off of the post, the out-of-bounds post, the flag.
That's corner flag abuse.
Yes. Red card.
Or at least make him put it back.
It's a restart for Akron City on a goal kick.
Crime against the corner flag.
Corner flag is, oh, okay.
I thought it was broke for a second.
So did I.
Guess it has a hinge in it.
Naomi. Sends it deep. Jansen tried to get his head on it, couldn't do it. It comes down to Faria. Faria gets pushed from behind by Arrieta, picked up by Schmidt, headed by De Silva.
Uh-oh, this is not good.
And
Faria was yelling at the referee. I think he hurt his shoulder, the way he's holding it. He fell awkwardly. Oh, that's not good. It's not good for so many reasons. You don't want to see a player get hurt, but also as well as he's been playing. Yeah.
So Faria is down, and he's in some serious pain. Trainer is out looking at the lower arm, down just below the elbow. Could be a wrist. One of the assistant coaches for Akron City is coming out onto the field. They're calling for a sub. So it looks like Faria's day is done. Hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully it's no more than a sprain, if anything.
Yeah, those are the ones that are kind of scary. As soon as a player goes down, he turned to the referee and said, "We got to stop this. I'm in trouble." I actually saw that once when I played in college. One of my teammates went in, two players going for like a block tackle. He took the worst of it. He flipped completely over, and he landed, and he just called out to our coach, and he goes, "Coach, broken bone." And that was scary. So hopefully, Faria, like you said, this is just a sprain, but he knew right away.
He was in trouble.
Yeah.
So we'll see who comes in for Faria and see if he can provide the same amount of energy that Faria did.
Yeah, he just was a major spark plug ever since he came in the game. His pace, his intensity. I mean, he created the go-ahead goal. That right there, a small percentage of players create that. That's all effort and heart, what he did.
Okay, here comes our Akron City sub for Faria. We'll let you know who it is as soon as we can catch his number. Northern Indiana with the ball. De Silva sends it wide. It's going to be Jackson Herbert for Akron City. Header by Herbert. Deep ball to De Oliveira. Jevtich with him, and Jevtich knocks him off the ball for a goal kick for Akron City.
Great track back by the center back, Jevtich. De Oliveira had a step, but he wasn't quite in control. And when that's the case, the defender, as long as they hustle back, they can get back in position to shut you down.
Naomi with the restart for Akron City. Sends everybody deep.
Wow.
Header by Northern Indiana. Sarver tried to get to it. There's another header by Akron City. Kingsford tried to go for it. Amal got to it. Northern Indiana with it. Back to Nyanka. Nyanka to Mendez. Picked off by Schmidt. Schmidt to Kingsford. Amal got his foot on it. Kingsford still has it. Now it's chased down by Mendez. Mendez slots it to De Oliveira. Sends it into a streaking Perez, but it's going to be a goal kick for Akron City.
Travelers are showing some hustle here. They want to try and get the equalizer. Akron City's doing a good job working the ball there. Kingsford was strong. Went through about 3 or 4 challenges there, but he's got to give it up. He's got to keep the ball moving.
Naomi's goal kick. Jansen got a head on it. Northern Indiana with it. Goes off of McLaughlin out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for Northern Indiana. Nyanka knocked out of bounds by McLaughlin again. Northern Indiana with the ball. It'll be a throw-in. Comes into De Silva. De Silva drops it down to De Oliveira. Over to Martins. Martins has it poked away by McLaughlin. De Silva with the throw-in.
Looks like they want to get a long throw-in here in the box. That's what they're setting up for.
Von Thun with the throw-in. Headed by Akron City for a corner for Northern Indiana.
Oh, what is this?
He got bumped into by one of the Northern Indiana players.
That's
and went
McLaughlin.
straight down. That was De Oliveira that bumped into McLaughlin. Here comes the corner. Headed out by Akron City. Sarver puts it wide
Oh, my. Far side, if you can get it there.
to Schmidt. Sarver. Far side. Coming down the left side. That was Herbert. And Herbert knocked it off of Northern Indiana for an Akron City corner.
Boy, Herbert was out there, and he had a lot of real estate.
Yes, he did.
Just couldn't get it to him soon enough.
Groves will come over to take the corner. Kingsford lining up for a short corner. Comes into Kingsford. Kingsford sends it out to McLaughlin. McLaughlin shot off of the goalpost, football goalpost, for a goal kick for Northern Indiana.
That's unfortunate. If Dobrevich could put that on frame, a second one here would be a backbreaker.
Mendez to De Oliveira. Taken away by McLaughlin. Sends it wide to Herbert, or make that Groves. Goes up, Von Thun for Northern Indiana. Taking all kinds of space.
Yeah, nobody was pressuring him.
Gives it up to Perez. Perez taking it deep. And it's challenged by Akron City, and it's good enough for a Northern Indiana corner.
Yeah, they let Von Thun take it easily 30, 40 yards, just walk up and create that attack. You can't let that happen. Get that ball out of his foot.
Amal with the restart. Sends it into the box. Headed out by Akron City. Put back towards the goal by Northern Indiana for a goal kick for Akron City.
That's a tough one. That ball's like shoulder height, and you try and do a side volley. Unless you leave your feet, you're not going to put that ball under the bar.
Goal kick coming out wide to Herbert, far side, working on Von Thun. Herbert drops it back. Comes across to Schmidt. Schmidt's got plenty of space to take. He's got Sarver wide right. Drops it off to Sarver on the right side. Sarver with it, looking to dance. Takes it down inside, around the Silva cross. Ooh. And almost put in by Akron City.
You got to wonder if Akron City is just going to start taking the corner flag now. There's only a couple minutes left. I mean, when do you start that? 2 minutes? 3 minutes?
Throw in for Akron City. McLaughlin to Sarver. Sarver taking it down to the corner. There's the cross.
Oh.
Jansen dummies.
Boom.
Back post by Dobrevich. No, Herbert. Number 13, Jackson Herbert. On a great dummy by Jansen. Puts Akron City up 4-2.
That was magic. It's one of those ones where you make that near post run and you draw the defender. You just don't shoot it because it's going to take a miracle shot for you to put that on frame. And then when you dummy it and your teammate is standing there with nobody, that's just like, oh, Merry Christmas to us. Beautiful. 4-2 Akron City.
Kingsford is coming off. We have a sub coming into the game for Akron City. I think it might be, yeah, we'll have to see. Is it Carter? That's what I thought. Carter Cormier comes into the game for Akron City as Jansen is providing all kinds of pressure, going crazy up front.
Good hustle. You got to like it.
De Silva to Von Thun. Von Thun out wide. That's Rodriguez. Rodriguez drops it back. Rodriguez with it. Arrieta. Amal. Amal cracks it. Scooped up by Naomi.
He didn't fall down.
Well, He's a tough guy.
But I thought that's what keepers did when they had the lead late in the games. He's not tired.
No. Schmidt on the
Oh,
tackle, but we're
my.
going to have a foul called on Schmidt. It's going to be a restart for Northern Indiana. Amal on the restart. There's the chip into the box, headed by Lacerda. Headed again, and now cleared out up to Sarver. And it'll be a throw in for Akron City.
The pipes almost burst on that one. If that one would have got over the top with Sarver running onto it.
Cormier with it. Tries to get it wide.
Now we're in stoppage time of the second overtime.
And it's being cleared out by Dobrievich as Dobrievich knocked his knee into Rodriguez's knee, and Dobrievich goes down, and the center referee immediately calls for the trainer. So we are into stoppage time of the second overtime period. Akron has scored in both overtime periods to take a comfortable, at this point in time, 4-2 lead over Northern Indiana. As I said earlier, this is a United States Adult Soccer Association National Amateur Cup Region 2 quarterfinal matchup for the Fritz Marth Cup, which is given out every year to the number one Adult Soccer Association amateur team. Here's a throw in by Northern Indiana. Amal with it. Amal's chip into the box. Perez was there for the header, and it goes out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick for Akron City.
Good job by Akron City, tracking back on defense there. It was a case of, that was Herbert. He was on the back post. He had two forwards with him, but he just got in the way, and he forced them to make kind of a sloppy header.
Northern Indiana with the header. Challenge by Dobrievich. Foul called. Northern Indiana ball. Sarver jumps in front real quick. Amal will take the restart for Northern Indiana. Drops it back to Von Thun. Von Thun sends it out wide to Nyanka. Nyanka to De Silva. De Silva tries to get it back into Nyanka, and it's kicked out of bounds by Akron City. Amal to Mendez, to De Silva. Knocked out of bounds by Dobrievich. Amal with it. Cleared out by Akron up to Sarver. Sarver can't control it. Throw in. Von Thun for Northern Indiana. Sends it into the middle. Picked up by Mendez. Mendez working his way. Blocked, knocked away by McLaughlin and out of bounds. Great tackle.
A great tackle by Matthew McLaughlin.
De Silva with the throw in for Northern Indiana.
I mean, it's one of those ones where you're like, oh boy, going to ground in the box, but he did everything he needed to.
There's the throw in. And it is knocked out by Cormier. Header. We have a gentleman down for, that's Nyanka down for Northern Indiana. And it's cleared up and out by Akron City. We have two players down for Northern Indiana, Nyanka and Von Thun.
Well, at the beginning of that play, a Northern Indiana player flopped. And then there was a challenge against Nyanka, and he's been down ever since. They wanted a penalty for both. There was really definitely nothing for the first one. And then Nyanka, that one just looked like two players ran into each other like clunked heads. But then the ball gets cleared out, and now they're going to get a restart outside the box.
Trainer comes out to talk to Nyanka. Four to two here in stoppage time of the second overtime. Akron City on top. Akron City got a goal in the first overtime period on a PK by Ryan Kingsford, and got a goal in the second overtime period by a late sub for Akron. Number 13, Jackson Herbert, got goal number 4 for Akron.
Both of those goals were very nice, especially the build-up to both. Faria with his hustle, got taken down in the box. Official called a penalty. Kingsford finished. And then the other one, Sarver came down the wing, beat his man, crossed through, a great dummy, and it was just easy finish for Herbert.
So Nyanka is getting up for Northern Indiana. They'll take him over to the sideline and give him probably a quick concussion test. Assistant coach is with him as well as the trainer.
I don't know if I'd want to stand there if I were the coaches and him with
Now
the restart happening.
Now it looks like they're going to escort
Okay, good.
Nyanka off the field.
I mean, I would have moved him a little bit more towards the corner flag. You know, don't go right next to the post.
And we don't have a sub coming in. So Northern Indiana is choosing to play a man down right now. Akron City setting up, what, a 6-man wall?
Well, they're going to have 5 in the wall and 1 lie behind them. Oh, no.
Yes,
well,
he is. He's
Sarver
lying.
was starting to come as at a 6, but they're going 5 and 1 on the ground. So they're all going to jump.
So there's the block by the wall. Amal comes out and gets it, resets it.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Taken away. We've got a break. 3-man break. Sarver with it, working on Tavares. Dumps it off. Drops back
that's
to
going to be
Sarver. Goal!
That's going to be offsides.
Akron, but he's offsides.
They did everything right on it. Everybody stayed back behind Sarver. When he laid it off, you can't give it back to him because he's in front of you.
Cormier with it. And that's going to be the end of the ball game. Final score, Akron City Football Club 4, Northern Indiana 2. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap it up. All righty, we're back at Green Street Stadium, Sistone Field. Final score, Akron City 4, Northern Indiana 2. Great game by Akron City. Northern Indiana came out very determined to win this ball game tonight. Akron City was fortunate to tie it up towards the end of regulation and then went on and scored 2 goals in the overtime periods to win it 4-2. They will move on to the USASA semifinals. It's a regional semifinal, taking on Milwaukee, Bavaria at a time and place to be determined by a coin flip.
That sounds so 2024.
Yes, sure.
But Milwaukee, Bavaria, that sounds like a place I'd like to visit almost, doesn't it?
I hear you.
Sounds like spirits and sweets, and sounds like Willy Wonka's land.
Yeah. Next league game is going to be Wednesday night, June 5th, as Akron is on the road at Niagara. Easy for me to say all of a sudden. But they will be on the road at Niagara in a league contest. That's Wednesday, June 2nd. They're on the road for a couple of games before they return home, I think, like around the 15th of June, I believe, is the next home game. So they are on the road for a couple of games, and then they'll be back here. But they also stay alive in the United States Adult Soccer Association regional tournament. They're in Region 2, and they advance to the semifinals against Milwaukee, Bavaria, with their 4-2 win here tonight. Kyle?
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to Akron City. They came out, they weren't playing their best ball in the beginning. It seemed like the majority of possession was going towards the Travelers, Northern Indiana. And Northern Indiana got on the board first in the 33rd minute on a goal. Second half, Akron City responded the 63rd minute. But then just 9 minutes later, 2-1 now, Northern Indiana. But then 85th minute, you got to give credit. In the late moments, Akron City found the equalizer again to send it to overtime. And then a goal in the first overtime, goal in the second overtime. And that's your ball game. And I got to give credit to a couple players that really stood out. Faria won. I mean, he was a super sub. He was like Speedy Gonzalez. That's a good way of putting it. He was all over the place. His pace, his intensity, he was creating chances. He created the game winner. He was one of them. And also Matthew McLaughlin. When he came in the game, he was playing more like a holding before he moved back to right back. But his balls, he set up the equalizer goal, the 85th minute. He put a ball over the top that got in there, and before Kingsford could finish it, a ball went down, and it was I'm trying to remember who took him on.
Rodriguez?
No, it was Dobrievich. One down the wing, sent the ball in. Keeper came out, knocked it away. It came top of the box. Kingsford finished it perfectly. Kingsford again then on the penalty. And then you had the last goal, which was a beautiful cross by Sarver, even better dummy, and then a great finish by Herbert. 4-2 Akron City. They move on to the semis.
And the goal by Sarver, the first one, he scored the first goal, if my memory serves me correctly. And that shot that he had, it looked like he topped the ball,
yes,
which created the bounce and then the dive right underneath Tavares' arm, and then bounced up into the corner for the goal.
That's one of those shots you see at Wimbledon, with some serious top spin, and it spins right by the opponent. Yeah, he got free about 25 out. Why not? Let's take one from distance. We're struggling a little bit offensively, getting some finishes. Hey, I got the corner over there, and he loves that far post.
Final score, once again, Akron City Football Club 4, Northern Indiana 2. We'll be back sometime in June. I think it's the 15th.
Well, it is June now, so.
Oh, that's right. I'm still thinking it's May. But
later this month.
Yes, we will be back towards the middle of the month as they're going to be on the road for a couple of games. And then we'll be back here at Green Street Stadium. So in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your summer. And we'll see you again from Green Street Stadium.